So this random thought just came to my head. Let me give y'all a quick little breakdown of what it is like being a black man, especially a black man in relationships. So a black man is like a car. When you first get your car, you know that at one point it's going to need maintenance. You know you're going to have to change the oil. You know you're going to need new tires. You know at one point the battery might go. You know at one point more than likely the check engine light is going to come on and tell you something's wrong and you're going to have to get something done, right? Especially in these new cars, the sensors go off and it tells you exactly what needs service. So being a self-conscious black man is like being a new modern, say 2018 Mercedes. You get this Mercedes and for the time being, it drives well, it drives smooth, and you're happy with it, you appreciate it, you're happy to show it off. It's getting you from point A to point B. Every day you get into the car, you don't think about the fact of you're going to need an oil change, you're going to need to change its tires, you're going to need whatever service and maintenance done at one point. You just think about the fact that it's going to get you from point A to point B. So you rely on it to be able to do its job to serve its purpose. Then as time goes by, eventually your car starts to drive differently. You start to notice and feel that your car is moving a little differently. Eventually your check engine light comes on. But what do? You say, all right, my check engine light is on, but I can take care of that later. You get a message from the car saying low tire pressure, saying you need an oil change, things like that. You say, all right, cool. I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to handle that. But you keep pushing it off, passing it to the side and saying you're going to handle that eventually. So what happens? Eventually the car breaks down. So now what happens? You get mad at the car. Now the car becomes an inconvenience. Now you're mad because you got to come out of pocket and pay for these new tires. Maybe you got to get a radiator. Maybe you got to get a new starter. Maybe you got to get new windshield wipers. You got to get an oil change. But these things that you knew already from the beginning was going to need tending to. You already knew that you were going to have to put this type of service into it. This is what it's like being a black man. In the beginning, when you're able to go smooth, you're relied upon just to get people from point A to point B. You're fine. Everything is good as long as you're doing that. But then, as a self-conscious black man, once you start throwing signs out there and once you start saying, hey, I need help, once you start telling people, look, this is wrong, people say, oh, nah, that's not it. They push it off. They push it to the side. They don't think about it. And then when you break down, now it's a problem. Now it's an inconvenience. Now people are mad at you because you're not able to do what you're expected to do, but you've been throwing signs out there the whole time. This is what it's like being a black man, especially in relationships or in America. Nobody cares that you have service that needs to be tended to. Nobody cares that you have these things that need to be tended to. They know it. They realize that. They know that from getting it. Because just like every other car, you know that you're going to have to tend to it. Just like everybody else, it requires and needs a certain amount of whatever that it may need at the time. It's the same thing as a black man, but people continue to brush it off and push it to the side, thinking because it's a Mercedes, it's this luxury vehicle, it's supposed to be able to last. It's supposed to do well under whatever circumstance, right? But we forget for it to continue to perform well, it continuously needs service and maintenance. It has to be upkept every whatever 1,000 miles it needs that oil change. Every time it hits a certain point, it's going to need new tires. Whenever it gets to this certain point, you need to change the windshield wipers. Whenever it hits this certain point, you have to replace and refill the antifreeze or else your engine is going to blow. What happens as the black man? Then we get angry because we reach out for help. We express ourselves, we say what we need, what needs to be done or what we're looking for, but people continue to push it off and blow it off. This is what it's like being a black man. You put this time, energy, and effort in, you play your role, you're relied upon day in and day out to be able to provide and do this certain service, but then when you now need help, people don't want to tend to you, and now you become an inconvenience for others. Now people get mad at you. Now people are disappointed because you're not doing what they expect you to do, the way they expect you to do it, not thinking or realizing that you too need to be upkept. Again, this is a random thought. So for y'all that are ever questioning or wondering why some people, not just even black men, but why something may seem different, look at your vehicle. It's showing you signs. Look at your check engine light. Look at your gas tank. Look at your service light. Look at the sensors that's going off. Take your car and see what's wrong. Realize that this is a problem that's dealt with by a lot of black men. They look to express themselves. When they do, people treat it a certain way. You're told to just do your job. So people don't care unless you're just providing and doing what you're supposed to do, what you're relied on day in and day out.